Hey everybody, welcome. We are today going to talk about joy as a secret weapon. Sandy is joining us again and going to talk about how she developed a practice of curating and keeping joy in her life after the death of her husband. Let's talk about that. One of the things that you and I have talked about is the truth that joy is not an emotion. So talk about what that is. What is joy? If it's not how I feel, what is it?
Yeah, I feel like joy is really about who you are and how you see things, right? If our joy is based on circumstance, then all of our circumstances can affect how I feel. And if I can appreciate things and if I can find gratitude or find peace, or if my happiness and my joy, if it's just on an emotional level, my kids are going to drive it out of me, the servers in restaurants are going to drive it out of me, my boss asking for things may drive it out of me. So joy really needs to be a mindset, and it needs to be anchored in our soul about, hey, I prioritize peace, I prioritize joy. Because the fact is, when the rug's pulled out of you, two things still exist: joy and sorrow. They coexist. The day my husband died in the hospital, there were babies who were born the same day. So these things seem opposites, but they coexist. And I really believe that creating the habit, right, of looking through the lens of joy only makes your life better. It brings no sorrow.
One of the things that you said to me, I want to talk about this too, and about how you've cultivated joy, but you talked about one of the reasons it's so important is because when you go through loss, it's like a vacuum. It just sucks the life force out of you. And that's real, and we validate that. There is, the pain out in the wake of loss and the fact that it is a vacuum. But how did you then, I mean, I know you kind of went on this journey. I don't know if you want to share a little bit of the story of how you ended up getting to the point where you were like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And combat the actual loss. So maybe talk a little bit about that.
I love what you said about combating loss. That's exactly what we have to do. And it's by choice. It's by mindset. It's by doing things that combat that loss. Because there's nothing I could have done to bring my husband back. But I then had this huge vacuum of loss sucking me dry. And I had this experience while flying back to Arizona after my husband's services, and being kind of insulated for a couple of weeks in California with people I loved, but I had to go back to my life. And I remember thinking on the plane that if this plane went down and me and my kids died, we'd be reunited with Jeff, in heaven, and I wouldn't have to deal with the reality of this. And in that moment, I was looking at my sleeping kids on this flight. I knew that was not a good foundation to build a new life on. And I knew that I needed to establish some foundations that were different than what I was thinking, because you're so overwhelmed that you really do need some foundational tools that are going to help combat loss. And so for me, it was joy. And I wrote blogs about finding joy. And so I was very purposeful about finding joy.
Okay, so what were those tools? Like what did you do to find joy?
I reached out to a couple of my single mom friends, and one of my friends, Angie, said, I said, okay, tell me what is, give me a couple things that you do that help you be successful. And so she said, every day I do something for me for 10 minutes. She's like, sometimes it's a slice of pie. My kids don't know it's in the house. Sometimes it's just standing in the shower, but every single day. So I knew that, okay, I have to start developing habits that are going to support my new life. One of the things I did was I bought this journal, and it's called the 5-Minute Journal. And you journal 5 minutes in the morning before your day starts, and 5 minutes at night. And it's very simple. You talk about you list 3 gratitudes every single day. You list, like, I think there's a question like, what would make today great? And then at night, you just say, what were the 3 best things that happened today? So I started developing, and I did that. Like, I think I bought that journal twice, and I did it. I filled it out, like, it for months, because I needed to start looking for things to be grateful for. And the thing about gratitude, I was at a grocery store, and there was this kindergarten class that were touring the grocery store, which I thought was so cute. And the teacher had this very cool thing. It's like a little rope. She was the leader, and each one had their own handle on the rope. So like none of the little kids got away. Gratitude is the leader to joy. If we can connect with what we're grateful for, we will get joy. Because when Jeff died, I wasn't happy about anything, and I did not have the skill set to realize that joy and sorrow coexist, good and bad coexist in the same moment. And so it really was that journal, and then me knowing that I was never suicidal, but I knew that there was no part of dying prematurely that lined up with anything that I believed. And so I really sought this journey of like, okay, I'm going to find joy every single day. And I took her advice of doing something for 10 minutes and really made it my own. And sometimes it was a slice of pie. That was my joy. Sometimes in the hard days, Marina, the only thing I was grateful for is that my kids weren't dead. That the day my husband died, that they didn't die too. That's all I had. But it was enough, because what I was doing is I was disciplining my mind and my soul to look for the good.
So the road then to joy is gratitude. It's like all those little handles on the rope.
Yes.
The building. So I don't know if we talked about it in this session, but it is this idea that your daily habits, I mean, and people talk about this all the time, but the things that you do, your daily habits, your daily routines, like that ends up making your life, you know? I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything you want to end with.
Yeah, I just want to encourage anyone, whether you've experienced loss recently or it's been a long time, whether you are someone who loves someone who has experienced loss, joy is available. It really is just a shift. What are things that you could be grateful for? What are things that, because once you really connect with gratitude, now I can be grateful for everything. It's the little things, right? It's these little habits, like Marina said. And so I just want to encourage you, joy is there. And also, if you're a widow, you're not betraying yourself or your loss by loving your life. And that's like true joy. When we can love our life, when we can build our life to be something that we are proud of, that's what it's all about. And so I just encourage you to find joy. Find in this moment, if you're listening to my voice, what are 3 things you are grateful for? What are 3 things that give you joy? You know what gives me joy? Coffee. Like, listen, COVID and coffee, that's how I'm dealing with life. Having my kids in my house and playing games, that's what brings me joy currently. But it's just a habit. Build this habit. It's your secret weapon. Why is it a secret weapon? Because when you have a soul full of joy, it changes your vision on everything.
So good. Well, let's keep our vision clear, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys. Thanks, Sandy.